Well, there's no denying that one looked extremely bad. The Philadelphia 76ers fall to the Toronto Raptors in their first preseason action by a final score of 123-107. Things did not go well. We'll talk about the good, the bad, everything in between. And right now, Sixers Nation seems to be falling apart. The fort is coming down. Look, in my best Aaron Rodgers impersonation, all I can say is relax. Let's break it down.
Perfect.
What is going on, everybody? RB here. Welcome on in to Philly Take with RB, where we constantly talk Philly sports. You know what to do. Drop a like if you enjoy the content. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the notification bell so you always get notified anytime we drop content like this one. We will be covering the entire season of Sixers coverage. I really appreciate all those who come out and support no matter what the content is. We'll have play-by-play streams, recorded post games, news, injury updates, all that kinds of stuff. 24/7 Sixers coverage here on the channel all season. I was actually going to do a play-by-play here tonight, and I didn't know that NBA League Pass was broadcasting the game for free, right? So I guess that's my fault. But Thursday, NBC will be back on it, and we will be doing the play-by-play. And it's actually good I did not do the play-by-play tonight because, man, it was ugly. There is no denying that. We are going to rip into some things here, but I still think it's just one preseason game. We'll discuss it all. I'll talk about what I really liked. And first and foremost, before we get into that, let's go ahead and hear a quick word from our sponsor, BetQL. Do you want to get an advantage over your sports book? Well, if so, BetQL is the perfect app for you. Their best bet model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you a best bet recommendation across all major sports for every single game. They cover everything from spreads, over-unders, player props. They even give you the news, injury updates, all other information that you need to succeed on your bets in real time. I've been using BetQL. They have some of the sharpest analytics. They really go into detail. And if you're a sports bettor like me, whether it's NFL, we got NBA games coming up soon, you're going to want to hit on your parlays, and BetQL can supply you with the information you are seeking. So if you want to take your sports betting to another level, go to the App Store or the Google Play Store, or just click the link down in the description. Use promo code RB for 25% off of any subscription offering. Again, promo code RB, 25% off any subscription offering. And be sure to check out the special BetMGM offer in the description as well, if you're in an eligible state, to claim $200 in free bets no matter whether your wager wins or not. Again, you can find all this information down below in the description, and shout out to them for sponsoring this content. All right, so this game was quite interesting to say the least. The Sixers came out and they got absolutely kicked. Let's keep it real like we always do here on the channel. It was ugly. All right, it was nauseating. I didn't even want to watch this game past the third quarter. And honestly, there is a lot to work on. There's a lot of technical work that needs to be done in these practices. There is no denying that. And quite honestly, when your team comes out, even though it's preseason, even though these guys in a way were expected, not to have a lot of chemistry together yet because they haven't played a lot together, and there's still a lot of new faces and young guys. You just can't come out like this and have this much lack of preparation when it comes to a basketball game. At times, it looked like the Sixers weren't even playing a game tonight. It looked like they were, in a private gym playing 5-on-5s or in practice or on the playground or at your local street court. Like, they were just so undisciplined. They weren't getting back on defense. It was abysmal, to say the least. And, you definitely do not want to see that in a basketball game. But before we rip into all of that, let me just give my few positives from this game. First and foremost, Andre Drummond. He did kind of have, a high point tonight, a low point. He went up and down. But he came out and immediately ripped this team to shreds. Andre Drummond looked like a really solid pickup in terms of a backup center. He finished with 19 points and 14 rebounds and I think 3 blocks. But, man, Andre Drummond came out and had like 8 boards in the first few minutes. He was coming out. He had a couple and ones. He was working down low. And, a lot of people wanted to criticize this guy for his defense. He came out with some hustle. He was the one guy that came out with some grit and heart. When you don't have Tobias Harris, you don't have Joel Embiid, you look for other guys to come up and show that leadership and show that energy. And I thought Andre Drummond came out and he was in that mode, you know what I mean, where he was hungry. He looked like he was playing for some respect tonight, and he looked really good to me. Definitely looked like an upgrade over Dwight Howard. And, you know, people forget when we got Dwight Howard last year, he was pretty solid, even though there were things that were, you know, obvious flaws when it came to Dwight. But Dwight was 34 years old. Andre Drummond is at a different stage in his career, and he's only 28 years old. So the guy can still play, and if he can maintain that level of energy on the defensive side, I think he's a pretty solid pickup. I really liked what Drummond brought to the floor tonight. In addition to him, I thought that Isaiah Joe off the bench looked really good. He's a guy I've been praising, second-round pick last year. I think he has the skill set to become a great role player in this league, and I'm looking for a lot more minutes and a lot more playing time for Isaiah Joe as we continue on. He finished with 18 points and 4 for 8 from deep. So Isaiah Joe had a really good game, and I thought he was letting it fly. I thought he was aggressive, wasn't thinking about it. It was really nice, and I hope we see more of him. He did get 26 minutes tonight. And lastly, Seth Curry, who finished with 14 points, 6 for 11, 2 for 3 from deep. Curry looked like he picked up right where he left off, and I really liked Seth Curry's game, and, you know, we're going to need a lot from him. He's going to have to step up this year. Also, one more, Grant Ryler, who got hurt. He was a second-round pick last year. I really liked him in the draft. I think he was drafted by the Hornets, didn't play much. Sixers signed him for nothing. He looked like he could be a valuable piece. You know, I liked how he was using his body, getting to the rim. His court vision was great, but he did go off limping in the last couple minutes, so hopefully he's all right. But yeah, other than that, those were the only positives I could see. Every other player in this game did not impress me. In fact, they looked pretty bad. The main takeaway from this game is the turnovers and the lack of defense. We'll start with the lack of defense. There was no interior defense. There was no perimeter defense. There was no closing out on shooters. I'll be honest, the Toronto Raptors, they started to miss shots as the game went on, but when those starters win, right, Fred VanVleet, Anunoby, Siakam wasn't in, but Scotty Barnes, the rookie, Achua, Dragic, those guys were lighting it up like they could not miss, but the Sixers were leaving them wide open. There was no transition defense either. Like the Raptors were just swinging the ball with ease. There was so much momentum on their offense, and they just made it look so easy. Sixers looked gassed. They were out of place. There was no technique on defense, and it was just pitiful, man. We had no defense in this game whatsoever. Like, honestly, when the next practice comes, Doc should just sit these guys down and literally go over defensive drills for an entire day. I mean, it was that bad. I don't think I've seen worse defense in a long time. I really don't. And that's just, you know, without Joel, without Tobias, that goes from head to toe. This entire team did not play defense, and they just didn't look into it. You know, defense is skill, but it's also effort, and these guys just did not look like they wanted to play tonight. It didn't even seem like they knew there was a game. That was some of the worst defense I've seen, and we kind of just gave up on some possessions, and I don't like to see that. You got to finish out the plays, and Doc's got to be harder on them when it comes to that. The other thing I didn't like was the lack of aggression from most players. I thought Tyrese Maxey tonight did not play too well. I thought he was facilitating a lot. I wanted to see him be more aggressive, even if the shots weren't going in. You know, he finished, with 10 points, 5 for 11, which doesn't make it seem too bad, but he did not take as many shots as I wanted him to take. He only took 2 threes. I thought he had a nice pull-up floater early on. I wanted to see him go to that more and pull up off the dribble. And people keep directing me to these comments that Doc Rivers made when it comes to Tyrese Maxey about, you know, how he's instructing him kind of to play like Rondo and think about shots, because if he takes a shot and it doesn't go in, you know, he's taking more shots away from other shooters on the team. And I don't like that approach at all, if indeed that is how he is instructing him. I want Tyrese Maxey to be aggressive. I want him to create off the dribble, and I want him to go out there full force, you know, no limits, and go out there and play his game. So we definitely need to see more from Maxey. I just didn't think he played a really good game tonight, and, you know, the moment looked really big for him, I'll be honest. But again, it's only the first couple preseason games, and I think people are completely overreacting, talking about, oh, we need this, we need that. Let's just go through a couple more preseason games first. Matisse Thybulle, I thought was great on defense, as he always is. He just looks disruptive. He had a couple nice steals, I think a block or two. but on offense did not look like he had advanced at all. He was passing up corner shots. He, tried to go up a couple times off the dribble and lost the ball. It did not look good. Furkan Korkmaz, or as the announcer says, Kork miss, because he was missing a lot. I thought Korkmaz had a couple nice plays, but other than that, he was, again, trying to operate the pick and roll. He was trying to come around screens. Like, that's not who he is, and that's not who he can be. Honestly, the Sixers need a vet guard off the bench. I've been saying this the entire offseason. We need a veteran with a lot of experience off the bench, and I'm really worried about the bench. They don't look good at all. There's not a guy I can really trust. Shake Milton did not play well either. Jaden Springer, you can kiss him goodbye this year. He's not seeing the floor. If Tyrese Maxey didn't play last year, what makes you think Jaden Springer's even going to see the floor, right? Paul Reed was out of place tonight. It did not look good. And Niang, he was okay, but really not too much in position tonight. I don't know. It just did not look good as an overall team performance, and I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt given it's only one preseason game. But if we see these kinds of habits the next couple games, well, we're definitely going to have something to talk about. I wouldn't go overboard yet. This isn't a regular season game, but let me tell you something. We have to get things corrected. We have to work on this, and a lot of work needs to be done. And you know what? Doc's got to do a better job. So I hope these guys are practicing all these little things. We'll see what happens. Shout out to the Toronto Raptors as well. I mean, they did play really well. Like I said, they shot extremely well, but the Sixers did make it a lot easier on them, and we're giving them free shots all night. So we need to get in shape, man, and we need to get back on defense. And trust me, I don't want to see any more defensive performances like that. I'll keep it simple like that. I want to hear from you. Let me know all your thoughts down below in the comment section. What'd you think of this game? Overreaction, underreaction? Give me all your thoughts. Shout out to BetQL for sponsoring this content, the only app you'll need to beat your sportsbook today. Click the link down in the description. Use promo code RB, 25% off, and check out the special BetMGM offer. With that being said, appreciate you guys so much. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one, man. Peace.
Perfect.